Justice.
I've went.
Welcome, everybody. It's another Monday night, and you know what that means.
Mondays are for the mind.
It's Chase and Shep. Let's go. It's the April edition of Mondays Are For The Mind. Vibe with us and thrive with us all month long as we have new guests and returning guests right here on the show. And if you're looking for more, hit up chaseandshep.com, baby boy. It's a celebration. Sheesh.
What's up?
Oh,
We're back.
up?
We're back to it.
I was vibing out there to that. I love
Yeah.
that little
I'm
instrumental.
sure people who've been tuning in were ready for the song, and then you switched it up on them. You know,
That's true.
I don't think they
That's
were
true.
ready for that. They just thought the visuals were going to change, and then you really.
Changed everything.
It took me almost the entire intro to remember that song is, the Peanut song, which I know, but I know that it's playing today because it's also your song "Hooked on Chronic." Doing the Snoopy dance as you should, Ron, as you should.
Yeah.
It's
Always,
appropriate.
man.
And with the wild wackiness of April upon us, we like to celebrate pretty hard around here. We've got a slew of guests, and to start us off this month, we have Weston Hasty, aka MagicManMo, with us. How you doing, Weston?
That's me. I'm a Weston Mo man.
Oh,
Hello, I'm doing all right.
You sure did,
That's
Randy.
what's up.
I was
You did,
vibing.
Randy.
I was vibing to the Charlie Brown.
Yeah, you can catch that on Spotify. Just look up Johnny Cash and hit the song "Hooked on Chronic."
Got it.
There you go.
Will do.
And you can do your any Peanuts dance you please.
I can do that from my
Linus,
phone. Spotify. It's here
any of
somewhere.
your favorites.
Or if you use Apple Music like I do now, you can find it on Apple Music. We've already found my beast with Spotify over the last couple of weeks. I have landed on Apple Music at the moment.
That's right. The ongoing rift between Johnny Cash and Spotify.
I'm getting my Neil Young.
Yeah.
It's just Spotify's so big now.
They are. It wasn't that for me. It was they did the thing. I was on a family plan with my family, in my opinion. And they were like, hit me with that email, like, oh, you got to log in from your address here, and I didn't. So they were like, you're off. You're out of the family.
So all it takes these days.
It's I from a business point of view, I kind of get it, but on the other hand, like it is pushing people away that weren't going to pay for it anyway, and it garners bad press, and it's just. And then if you're on a family plan and it's like, well, if your family is traveling or if your family is like split or something like that, it's like household or something, like there's a number of different scenarios that should be totally okay to use a family plan for. But
right.
I don't know, I guess a lot of streaming services, especially just, based through the internet, they don't care, I guess, whether it's your Spotify or Netflix. I don't know if Hulu's doing that yet. I'm sure everyone's going to be on the same train eventually because once
they were
someone
just
starts
waiting.
it, everyone follows.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They were waiting for the first one to go so they could all be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, no one wants the bad PR first.
Well,
Right.
it's like it's almost like they forget that they're trying to up their numbers. They're trying to get more consumers, but there's only so many people to subscribe. At the end of the day, they can only up their numbers so much. I personally, I threw out an option to save the industry the other day that I feel like they should split the difference here, because if they really want to make that much more money on their services, they need to quit trying to get rid of physical media. because I know so many people who say all the time, like, "Oh, I wish this Netflix movie was on DVD. I'd watch it all the time," sort of thing. Yes, you could watch it on Netflix all the time, but Netflix takes things off and
Yeah.
whatnot, and there's still those collectors out there. And if it's Netflix, okay, well, we can't get any more subscribers, but we can still sell something to the same people. That makes sense to me.
There's so much more money in I'm gonna equate it to like fast fashion. There's so much more money in selling something to you now as opposed to selling something to collectors. Collecting is a big thing for a lot of people, but for what seems to be, if we're just following, I guess, the money, it seems to be that the majority of people prefer the convenience of having something streamed to them, and whether or not it gets taken away. Like, I'm only going to watch it if it's available. If it's not available, I guess I don't care. Which is not like the collecting mindset where it's like, I'm looking for specific movies. I want to own specific movies or shows or books or whatever the media might be, songs, etc. There are plenty of people that want to own those things because they want to go back to them, and they're particular about their collection. They're particular about their library. And I guess it's the popular thing to not care that much, to just have a selection of a lot of things as opposed to a selection of specific things.
It's an intriguing way to look at it.
Yeah.
I like that. I dig that.
Well, where we're at, it's going to get us to the point where, like, in the year 3000, it's like, if you want to, you can't go out and buy a pair of Nike shoes no more. You got to subscribe to Nike, and then you can get you can get whatever pair of shoes you want in the mail for the basic tier. If you want the Air Jordans, you're gonna have to get up in the premium, maybe the platinum tier, and we can see, and then you can wear them as long as you keep paying your monthly subscription. I guarantee you we'll get there at some point, because that's, me and Chase were talking about that a little bit ago before we went on. It's like, it's for everything that I've done. Like within music, they keep moving it to, I can't go buy a music program like I could 10 years ago, and then I own that music program and I can just do whatever. It's like, no, now I can go to that music program and I could subscribe monthly and pay them monthly to use the same program eternally, as long as I keep paying it.
And you're not entirely, like, even with the clothes, like you were mentioning, like the Nike thing, but I don't remember what the name of the brand, the brands are, or the companies that, like, fashion boxes where you're like, I'll pay $50 a month or whatever, and they send you a box of clothes that already exists. So you're kind of, maybe you're right, where at some point in time, some computer algorithm determines what looks best on you. You subscribe to it and just hope it sends you good stuff, whether or not you need it or not.
See
it could be the future. We're all just,
that idea there probably has some businessman sitting back in his chair like, hold up, wait. Chase and Shep and them might be onto something.
just throw that sponsorship our way.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and that's the thing is too, though. People, there are only so many subscribers that can subscribe to a thing. So there's an upper limit to how many people you can have paying into a product, but then also there's an upper limit to how much you have to spend per month. Like, whatever your income is, right? That's the maximum. I can't be putting, unless you're going into credit, unless you're doing that, but you can't do that forever, right? There's a maximum amount of money I can spend per month. So there's only a maximum number of things I'm going to subscribe to, as opposed to, you can splurge on something here or there or whenever, throughout the year or throughout, frankly, your lifetime. At what point in time are you subscribed to like 40 things? Like, imagine having 40 open subscriptions in a month, or 50, 60. Like, what? When does it stop?
Well, we see a Chase and Shep subscription service in the future. Hello, Alex.
That's called Patreon, right? Do you guys have a Patreon?
We don't.
We don't. And I wouldn't even on like a Patreon, it would never be monthly. It's like, man, if you gave me $5 on Patreon, I'd video chat you every morning and tell you good morning. That's all. Maybe one day I'd forget, maybe I'd want to sleep in one day, but you can't hold it to me. But
perhaps maybe a Chase and Shep subscription service where they get to go on wacky adventures with us. Now that would be a subscription service worth giving to the people.
That sounds like a premium subscription right now. That's
we'd still do it for $20.
I was gonna say, though, that's like the inside scoop. That's getting to meet your heroes. Like, imagine making it big or whatever. Imagine a celebrity now. It's like, oh yeah, give me $20. You'll just spend the day with, I don't know, what's a really big celebrity right now? Who's big right now? I don't even know. I don't even know celebrities right now. I'm out of the loop.
The
I
Rock's
would
always a
I
celebrity, I
Rock.
think.
The
I'd
Rock.
pay 20. I was gonna say I'd pay $20 to hang out with Steve-O for the day.
Steve-O, yeah, just imagine you're
That could
like,
be
Steve-O, I'll give you $20 in a bottle of hot sauce that he will dump into his eyeball for some reason.
Would I pay
Um,
Spotify for a virtual concert?
I know the answer to this question for me is no, um, because Gorillaz did a virtual concert during COVID, and they were doing Song Machine at the time, and I was really loving their whole Song Machine. I followed it all year long, and they're one of my favorite bands. And they're like, "Well, this is the way you can experience our concert." And as soon as I saw that, we all know somebody's gonna upload that in like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
So and they did. So, you can watch it on YouTube here in about 15 seconds.
You just have to question, like, is there something a virtual concert experience can do that watching it not live
Right.
can offer? Like, I think there's been a few of them. I don't even remember who the artists were because the first one was someone I didn't even know. But Fortnite had like concerts in the game
Well,
here
yeah.
a while back, or like a couple years ago. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. I don't play Fortnite, but that was a thing at one point in time where they were holding actual live concerts in Fortnite. It's like I kind of get that the experience you're selling there is concert in a video game. That's the experience. But something where like a Spotify, if Spotify held a virtual concert for whoever, is it just someone with cameras recording a stage? Is that a different experience than you can get from watching it on YouTube, pirated
Right.
or uploaded or whatever the case might be? That's you gotta have a hook like that. You gotta what changes the experience. I feel like too many companies now are focused on trying to get how many en masse, what volume of people can I get involved into watching something instead of how can I create an experience that's worth watching to begin with? Then
Yeah.
people will just come.
I always wonder to myself what would happen if, like Netflix, or somebody like that hit 8 billion subscribers. Like, let's say they pulled the
That's everybody.
unthinkable and they got everybody on the rock to subscribe. What would they do? Would they just be like, we won, we did it, that's it, we won capitalism, that's it? Or
capitalism.
because it's like our capitalism these days is more numbers, more people, consumers. It's like, what if they hit that limit? What then?
I guess the hope is that there will just be more people faster. I guess they're just hoping more and more people will be born and exist, because a lot of companies are always trying to look into breaking into new markets. So like 8 billion is assuming that they've broken into every country, every city, every people that there are to break into. And they've accomplished that. And that's a pretty massive hurdle to accomplish already by itself. And I guess the assumption is that it always will be. But it's an interesting thought experiment where it's like, what is the limit? What's the soft cap on this?
MagicManMo themed loot crate that comes with a monthly fedora and Hawaiian shirt. I'd be broke as hell.
There you go. See,
that would be pretty great. If not for the fact that I'm kind of like I'm dodgy about loot crates. Like, Loot Crate is actually the name of one of those services. I don't know if it's still around or not, but there's a lot of loot box type, send you off a box of just kind of like random just a bunch of random stuff that you kind of question, like, is this bang for my buck? Is this actually like worth anything? Or is this just somebody's like trash that I just purchased for 10, 20 bucks? But I think it would be fun. My old fedora that exists, I can see it in my closet now. It's like stained yellow with age and just from grubbing and touching, and I don't use it anymore. I think it would be funny if I ever got big enough to be on a stage somewhere for some kind of thing, just throw it to somebody to get rid of it. Just, this is my trash. I hope it's worth something to you.
I like to recycle. It's just
this is it.
The people.
Recycle, reuse.
Would it make you feel good if you went like the next day and you saw it was on eBay for like $10,000 for sale?
I'd say, you know what? Because at that point, if this is me, like, I've made it to the point where I'm apparently big enough to do something on a stage. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? If you sell it for $10,000, good on you.
Yeah.
Like,
see, it would really. I feel like that's where it would really sink in for me that I've got it made at that point. I'm like, they're selling my sweaty hat for 10,000.
If the hat is worth 10,000, what am I worth?
Yeah.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I don't know. It's weirdly flattering, but also like someone's just taking advantage of my of me to
Right.
profit. But like at the same time, it's like, well, how much are you allowed to care? You know, I don't know.
It's true. Very true. Very true.
Yes, indeed. Well, I feel like we really just like hit the ground running on this episode. We totally skipped over who you are. For the people who don't know who you are,
Hi.
go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people what you do.
I'm Weston Hasty. My internet moniker is MagicManMo. Primarily, I have a gaming YouTube channel called MagicManMo where I stream, make Let's Play videos, make a bunch of like shorts and TikToks, all kind of like gaming related content. A lot of it around point and click adventure games and other like just random stuff. You'll see some horror, some action. There was a long stint of Roblox in my life that was something else. So that kind of thing is my primary occupation that I do on the side. I also do a bit of writing. I've got a poetry blog over at hastylymadedecision.com. I have a website, westonhasty.com. It's a landing page for like pretty much everything I do. So if you're looking for what I do, it's usually at least listed somewhere over there. I've been involved with Camp Nostalgic, which members of have been on this podcast before. So I know Gala and Alex, and I've been in some of their stuff. I helped write I did write Hey Dave, which features on Camp Nostalgic. Yeah, that's a lot of what I do. I've got 2 podcasts. Mine, I've got a personal podcast where I just talk about what interests me called A Hasty Podcast. And I'm in a podcast with Alex Ducat called Profoundish. That one's really good. So check that one out as well. After listening to this one, of course. So if you're into podcasts, you got lots to listen to now.
Got lots.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think that about sums up mostly everything.
So we're the comment section over here is just being flooded by.
Flood the comment section.
Solo.
Spam it.
Good to see you,
Solo, what's up, man?
Alex said, what would a MagicManMo live show look like?
I don't know. Like it depends on if it's a MagicManMo live show and it's like my gaming stuff. I guess it would involve a bunch of like inside stream jokes and then like gaming, I guess. Maybe we'd pull some people up to play some games. People would watch them. We'd make jokes, and then I'd probably make fun of everybody, and then peace out. I don't even know. It would definitely have to be like super low key, as opposed to like that or like a very typical convention, like pre-COVID convention Q&A type thing. I don't know. I don't know what a live show would look like.
Or you go all in. You go and blow the roof off that place
with bombs.
It doesn't have to be bombs. You could be safer.
A live show would look like arson and terror.
It'd be cool to have like a projector screen and like be able to host. I've seen like bars and stuff that do like old school game in like, you know, Mario Kart or something and host like a tournament type of thing. Or like for me personally, like I'd love to be able to host a Madden tournament. I've always played Madden growing up and shit. So I think getting a bunch of people in a bar to drink and like, all right, you're playing, you're going to be this team, you're going to be this team. Everybody picks their team, and then that's who you are. Let's go one-on-one, head-to-head. You used to have Madden Nation on MTV back in the day, so I look at it like it'd be interesting.
Something like I don't do Madden on my stuff, but like I don't know if we could organize like Among Us or something.
Well, like that, yeah. I mean, you could do a huge one like that. There'd be a lot of pretty cool games I feel like you could do live.
Well, so I'll figure out how to swing that when the time comes.
Right.
Or actually, that would be pretty fun too. Like I don't play Madden, so like I guess we'll just all do Madden. I will suck at it and lose immediately, and then everyone else is in the tournament, but I'm not. So while we're at my live show and everyone's playing Madden, I just kind of leave.
Where's the guy hosting? Oh, he left about.
Like, he's gone. He lost first round. He's out.
He's been gone. Randy, we'll get back to you, but Chase, sorry for calling you a moron last week. I was trying to type Mormon, but forgot that very important M. Also, Weston, you look absolutely stunning tonight. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I accept.
Mistake to make.
I accept. I was very concerned when that happened. I was like, what did I do? I just saw you. Well, I thought we had a great time. I saw your ass. You know, I really thought, you know, we bonded, and then you called me a moron the next day, live on air, and I was like, "What's happening? Where did we go wrong?" But Mistakes
Live
happen.
on
I
air.
forgive you.
You typed in on air and called him a moron. Live on air.
Who does that?
That squirrely autocorrect, I swear.
Randy, what is MagicManMo live? Normal gamer games.
That's a good one.
Let's
Finally
see.
plays normal
okay, I
gaming
guess I gotta
games.
play Valorant now.
How do you usually pick out the games that you play?
Some of them are suggested to me by viewers or comments left on videos. So some of them are suggested. Some of them just kind of either float my way from the ether that kind of comes by, and I'm like, oh, maybe this will be interesting, and I try, and I'm usually wrong, but I'll try like different things, or something will be popping off on YouTube in general if something comes along, like when the Among Us days hit, or freaking Doki Doki Literature Club, and like different things will like explode, and it's like, oh, if I can get a hold of that, I'll play it and I'll do something like that. So it's either some kind of trend going on, someone suggested it, or I had some sort of cockamamie plan to like, oh, maybe this will be big, and that one's usually wrong. That one's like, oh, this will be good. No, but it's one of those three.
What is it? A love of video games or a love of comedy? What is your big passion?
It's it was born out of boredom and a need to sort of fill in a certain void. So I started doing the Let's Play scene in 2012. I had left high school and didn't have any of the extracurriculars, any of the clubs, any of the sports, any of that stuff anymore. I was going to college, and I didn't have a hobby anymore. Like I didn't have a hobby. Now I could play games on my own, but like this new like Let's Play scene was just coming on YouTube, and there were like people that I was watching on YouTube at the time that I thought were really funny. This is like when like PewDiePie and Markiplier were just starting, and then there were many others that don't exist now, but that's when these big name gamers, Let's Players on YouTube were just starting. I thought they were pretty funny, and I thought to myself, like, well, I could play games and I could talk. If I could figure this out, maybe it'll be fun to like learn to do video stuff, because in high school, I had lightly worked on some video editing stuff myself. So I'm like, okay, I could kind of put these together. And then I've also been a bit of an entertainer before. I used to do like magic shows for people. I used to do talent, like in the school talent show. I performed for that. I was in band, which isn't like speaking, talking, but like performance stuff. I wasn't unfamiliar with performance stuff. So I'm like, that's like performance stuff, like video editing. And then I get to play video games. Like this will be great. I was very bad at it. Turns out that it requires a particularly weird set of skills that you don't immediately expect until you sit down and do it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is a little more involved than I thought it would be. So it became basically a hobby to fill in the time to replace all the other hobbies I'd lost after leaving high school, and I was in college and really probably didn't have the time to do what I was doing. I also dabbled in animation for a little while. I made 3 short animated videos for YouTube. They were like little stick figure animations where the stick figure main guy like died in each one. That was fun, but took up a lot of time. I'm like, I don't think the animation thing is for me. I'll just keep playing video games. And then it just evolved from there, where I threw myself into that as a thing to do. And then every time I thought that, oh, maybe I'm about done doing this, something would come along where I'd get this like, oh, I want to learn how to do this, or I want to learn to do that. And then especially when people actually started watching and like commenting, I was like, oh, okay, this is a kind of, you get that dopamine rush of like, oh, someone liked the thing I did. And then it spiraled out from there until I was just making tons of videos. And then eventually people asked me to stream. I didn't have any idea how to do that. I had no idea how to stream. I'm like, I'm never going to be a streamer. This is stupid. And then now I stream all the time, and it just kept spiraling from there over time.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Sometimes something finds you, and there's just no escaping it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grows and grows.
I usually tell people I'm like a fake gamer streamer, because I'm like, I don't do like Randy said, like the normal streamer games. I don't do the normal stuff. And usually I'm super out of the loop of the normal gamer stuff. So I'm like, I don't know anything about gaming or what's going on in the gaming scene right now, but here I am.
Well, let's see here. They're Potatoes. Hello. Good to see you.
What's up, Potatoes?
We'll just run it backwards here up the list. Alex and Randy keep blowing up my phone. They want you to talk about man cats.
I don't know what you're talking about. No,
I'm telling you, I feel like you people keep trying to bury man cats, but you should wear it as a badge of honor. I think it's a fantastic video, and it deserves to be a
No,
cult
Man Cats
classic.
was good. It's such a my favorite part of Man Cats is just the twist, like just the absurdist, almost gross twist to like when the cats show up. This is, of course, for anyone not familiar, it's a cat nostalgic video that we wrote during Coffee at 8 that involved me taking like a girl. I started it, taking a girl home. No, I think she took me home or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, at night at the bar or whatever, drinking, she's got to go clean up or whatever. I'm like exploring this unfamiliar house or whatever and open up the door. And she had warned me previously that she has cats. And I was like, that's fine. No big deal. I open up the door. The cats aren't just cats. They're man cats. They're full grown, like men that are cats. And then the cats get like all up on me or whatever. Randy plays one, coughs up a hairball like onto my face or something. There's a shot of it just and it turns out the entire video is supposed to be like an advertisement actually for like a cat allergy medicine or something like that. So yeah, it's a good one. Man Cats on Camp Nostalgic.
It's a classic. I do see that there's a question for Shep. I don't know if you saw the question Tyler had for you.
I'll throw it on up there. Man, I didn't last about 10 seconds, so I mean, I played.
It must be a tough game. Randy with an honest Mo question: is your history with Inca games spawned from your lack of cash? How did you find and latch onto those Saw games?
No, quite the opposite. I know what you mean. They're free online Flash games. Flash is dead now, rest in peace. But I didn't want to play those games because I thought Flash was like beneath me in a weird way. Like they're not real games because they're on the internet. I was trying to play more like actual like Steam game, like physical games or whatever I thought were more like legitimized for some reason, which was a bit of the wrong viewpoint to have at the time. But actually, no, someone had left a comment and that comment is lost to me. I don't know where it is. It's lost to time now. I don't remember who left it. Hey, you should check out this game. And I looked it up and I found out, it's this really weird looking point and click game on the internet. The art's kind of like super amateur looking. I'm like, this is not going to be a good video or good game. And then for whatever reason, I played it anyway because I was like, you know what? I don't get a lot of comments. I don't get a lot of requests. I'm small. I'm going to play it. This will be a one-time thing. I'm never going to do this again. Played it. And I was kind of into it. I was kind of confused by it a little bit because the setup is just very strange. That was Lady Gaga Saw game. You play as Lady Gaga. She's kidnapped by Pig Saw, which is like the Jigsaw, but a pig. And you have to fight a bunch of other villains in these different rooms and solve puzzles to escape being captured by Pig Saw. Very bizarre game. I did it. It was an immediate instant hit for compared to anything else I was doing at the time. So of course I played another one and then I played another one. Turns out, unbeknownst to me, who thought this was just some stupid amateur series of Flashpoint games on the internet. No, actually this company is kind of big in South America and it actually has a following and it's in South America. So everyone that plays it speaks Spanish. Turns out I'm the only English-speaking person playing these games. So it filled a void where people were like, wait, hold on. He's playing this game and he speaks English? I'm in. So it spawned from actually me not wanting to play the games into I've played every single one at least twice now in a long-running multi-100-part series. Where I'm now known to the creators of Inca games. I've interviewed them, and now I am the main character in one of their games. You can look up MagicManMo Pig Trap, I think is what it's called, if you've got an Android device. I'm the main character of a video game now. From playing games that I thought were going to be stupid.
That's pretty rad, dude.
Amazing.
Rad.
Yeah. I wouldn't have seen that coming 10 years ago.
Right.
See here, Alex. Looks like he's got a question for all of us. What's one game you wish you could forget and play for the first time all over again?
Oh, that's a good one. If I had to go with, you know what? Okay, the meme answer to this, if I had to pick anything that I've streamed before, it has to be Colonel Sanders dating, Colonel Sanders, a finger licking good dating simulator.
Okay.
That was amazing for the memes. That was great. It's a dating simulator where you play as the protagonist that is trying to date Colonel Sanders as like a high school kid or something. Like you're in high school or something. It's great. It's fantastic. I wish I could forget that and just do it again.
That's so funny.
It's so much fun playing that on stream. Off stream, I think Bloodborne. I freaking love Bloodborne, which is complete left field from what I actually usually play on stream. But everyone knows what Bloodborne is. But Colonel Sanders dating simulator.
Everyone should know what it is.
It's free. If it still exists, Colonel Sanders, it was free because it's a giant advertisement, obviously. So you can play it for free if it's still on Steam.
I don't know what game. I feel like instinctually I want to say Heavy Rain. I feel like I loved that game so much when I first played it, to actually forget about it and experience it for the first time again would be pretty cool.
I want to go back and play that. I remember playing the demo several times over on the PlayStation 3 or whatever. I think it's PlayStation 3. Playing the demo, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I should play this eventually. And I never did. And I'm like, I still kind of want to.
It's excellent. One of my favorite games.
I'd probably go myself with Arkham City. I think that was
okay.
Arkham City was very, very solid, and the first time I ever played that, I was like, "Oh!"
I'm actually replaying that game right now. In fact,
solid story, solid everything all around.
I've actually only played a little bit of that one. I was trying to stream it, and that stream series got interrupted for some reason, so I've only played a little of that one. I played all of Arkham Asylum, which was pretty good too. But
yeah,
I just finished that one off. I've just been working my way through them. Let's see, we got another question from Potatoes here. Very basic question for every YouTuber, but what actually got you into content creation? I got
into that a little bit already. It was to fill a void after I left high school in 2012. I was making a little bit. I was making some stuff in school for school projects and stuff. After I left high school, I needed to fill up my hobbies with something new because I didn't have anything left to do, and it turned into that. I kind of filled it in already, but
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of how it goes too, though. When we got started, it was the same. It was like, we were both creative type people. We just didn't have anything going on at the moment, and we, we've been into this many times, but to get into it again, we dove into the 25 Slays of Christmas, and the rest was really history from there on out.
Right, one more time for the people in the back there.
The 25 Slays. Look it up on YouTube. It's probably still the only ones out there. If you just type in 25 Slays of Christmas, you can find yourself some pretty good Christmas themed horror movies.
That's right.
Surprising amount.
It's just one of the many services we offer here at Chase and Shep.
Their Holoslays series. I started watching the Thanksgiving one. I've not finished it through. I think I'm like 10 minutes in. I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm very sporadic with what I watch.
Well, thanks for checking it out. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that covers that question. That's why we got into content creation. We've all talked about it before, so you have to do your own digging, unfortunately. That's what we're saying.
That's something I wanted to do a long time ago. I remember putting this together in college when I was first going off to college. Slender Man and the 8 pages was like exploding on YouTube, and it was a really big thing. And I was really into it, and I played it on my channel, blah, blah, blah. But what I wanted to do was like a live action, like horror spin-off of like Slender Man. And I had people put together in props, and we never did anything with it. And that's something I wanted to do, kind of horror themed, like kind of found footage style. Something kind of like what your Holoslays was reminding me of. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember wanting to do like a project like this eons ago. It never happened, but
I've always just been a fan of found footage. I guess because the question was about getting into content creation. For me, I wasn't ever necessarily concerned about creating content. I've just always wanted to be a filmmaker. So naturally, you're gonna make content as you go. Trying to make art and whatnot. But
I feel that's the same because when I got into doing music 20 years ago, the term content creation wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you weren't putting music out there to create content. It was just I mean, I can't really. I it's been so long, I can't even really recall what got me into doing music besides my buddies being into doing it. And I was like, yeah, everybody grew up watching MTV, so we all wanted to be rock star types. So of course we were like, let's do it. I've started many bands over the year. Ginger Man.
Gender Man.
Gender Man. Da 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 da. Gender Man. He's a she, a they, and an it, and a we. Gender Man. I don't know what Gender Man is, but there's your theme song.
I don't know, but they need to go into development right now.
I always thought a good character would be Captain Generica, and he just always says some very generic ass catchphrases at the wrong time.
Just like just dad phrases. Just like he beats the villain. He's like, and what did we learn, son?
Shit like that, or they're all getting their ass kicked or something, and they gather up, and he's just like, "There's no I in team." It's just like, it didn't help anybody.
Team. High fives as imaginary partner.
That one took me a little off guard. That one.
I like it. I want to see this.
Randy said that I won that question, huh? With the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, we're solid. They very much were solid.
Yes, Randy and I have had the discussion, I believe, on the Heavy Rain creator. I believe.
Yeah, if you play the games in isolation, like you don't really get into all the meta information around it and like the development and all that stuff, I think they're enjoyable games. They're a very specific kind of genre. But yeah, once you start like getting into the nitty gritty of stuff behind the scenes, you start to lose a little bit of its luster. Ignorance is bliss in this.
Generic Man sounds like a really sad X-Men character. He sounds like a Great Lakes Avenger. This is what he sounds like.
The saddest X-Man, in my opinion, the only one I can think of was just the dumbest power I've ever seen. It's in one of the X-Men movies from the like early to mid 2000s or something. I think it's like X-Men 3 or whatever it's called, where I forget what's happening, but the X Mansion or whatever is being busted into, and this kid's like up late at night. His power is that when he blinks, he can change the channel on the TV screen.
Yeah.
I'm like, that just sucks. You're an X-Man, you're at this cool school, but your thing is you change channels on a TV screen. Like, I'm sorry.
He can
do what most average men can do. It's pretty generic. He can do what you pretty much expect him to do.
Yeah,
he's reliable. He's dependable. That's his superpower.
He'll do the laundry, but he'll let it sit on the couch for about a week.
Yeah, I relate to that. Generic Man just became my spirit animal. I got a pile of laundry right now hiding behind this green screen.
I have a pile of laundry hiding behind me. Yeah, we all brought our piles of laundry with us to this show.
Mine's just back in my bedroom. See, I can hide mine back in the bedroom.
Open jars, yes.
My bedroom's not interesting to look at. I had to steal one with the green screen. This is not my house. This is not my piano.
Damn shame we were going to have you close out the show by playing us a little ditty.
I don't know piano. I know the trombone, but it's in storage at my parents' house, so I don't have immediate access to it.
I played the trumpet a few times back when I was younger in the band. So I could do the trumpet.
Do the trumpet. I'll do the trombone. We're halfway there to a brass band. We need a saxophone.
Show called from the UK called The Misfits. I love that show because the powers are all very distinct. I've heard of that show. I've heard good things.
The Misfits, huh?
Misfits just makes me think of the Island of Misfits from that Christmas movie.
Y'all have different. Mine makes me think of Glenn Danzig and Michael Graves, the Misfits, and
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I forget them all. They've had
one of the big villains of the show controlled dairy. It was interesting.
Controlled dairy,
like a dairy bender from like Avatar or something.
Either that, or maybe they're like they can control like if you're lactose intolerant or not. So it's like, oh, you consumed dairy today.
Ooh.
Squeeze it right out you.
Yeah, that's
Oh no.
that would be.
That'd be
I
a
would
pretty
definitely. That's a horrifying villain. That's something everybody can. It's like Nazis and somebody who can make you shit themselves all the
You
time.
know,
I
it
mean,
wouldn't stop me though. If you were mid-fight with me and you're like,
What if you had an
lactose
all-white
man or
costume?
whatever, and you're like, I will give you the shits. I'd be like, I'll poop myself. I don't care. We're going. We're
for
going.
justice.
Fisticuffs right now. You have to
Needs to
fight
be made.
this.
This needs to be made so then you can be like with the people afterwards, like, hey, and they're all like backing away from you, like, oh no, you shit yourself, man. You shit yourself. Get
He
away
just
from
tries
me.
to shame you into leaving. Ironically, he's
Started making
defeated
all
by
the
a man
heroes
who's
die from
lactose
heart
intolerant.
attack.
Makes sense.
Well,
That
damn.
tracks.
See, maybe I was a writer on the show. You never know.
Ooh, ghostwriter over here. He legally can't say anything, but
We can heavily no. if
Wink,
I
wink.
if I wrote some on any sort of show that was on anything, you better believe I'd be screaming from the heavens like, yeah, that was my shit. I did that.
That was
Like,
me. I'm not in the credits. I can't prove it. That was me.
I feel like to keep with the theme of sad sounding superheroes, Ghost Rider. It's like Ghost Rider, but whenever he writes, it just leaves a trail of flames, and he always burns up the paper he tries to write on. He just lives a very sad existence.
Leaving behind nothing but the ash of
Nothing
his
but
life.
ash.
like,
The
dang
ash of
it.
his creativity all the time.
It's like, sir, can you sign your will? No. Sign it.
Can't.
I'd
Sir.
rather
You-
not.
You
I'm
have to
afraid I
sign
can't.
it. I cannot do
Is there a
that. Please
stamp?
You don't want me to do
Can I
that.
stamp it?
sign the damn will.
You don't
Damn.
understand.
Will you proofread this? I'm afraid I can't.
Impossible.
I can audibly tell you what's wrong, but I can't actually mark the page.
In fact, I've banned ever using pens.
It's a Marvel what if right there. That's when Johnny Blaze met the devil in English class instead of in the circus.
Devil's his English teacher. I can vibe with that, man. When I was in school, my English teacher was pretty much the devil, so I'd go with that.
Spider-Man villain called the Wall. He's literally just a human wall, nothing else. Just a guy who's a human wall. No, just
a
to be
wall.
sure, no powers, just a wall.
You
Just
make a
the
better
wall.
door than you do a window.
I'm sure the quips go on for days.
Spider-Man seems to always run into those sort of villains to the Rhino.
Walls.
Well,
It's just
Human
like
walls.
yeah.
big wall.
Maybe
people
that's
like
how
to
maybe
blob.
that's how he got his inspiration. Maybe one day this guy was like, damn, I hate Spider-Man, and he's just watching and Spider-Man slammed into a wall and he's like, you know what?
Wait a
Blob's-
minute.
Okay. The Blob's X-Men, isn't he? Yeah, no, I got
Yeah.
that confused. I take it back.
Yes, he is.
Sandman.
I
Sandwall.
am almost probably 100% sure though that Spider-Man has fought the Blob at some time at some point in time.
In a I would
in
believe
some
it.
comic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could buy that though. See, you see a villain throw Spider-Man into a wall and really fuck him up, and you're like, you know what? That gives me an idea for a costume.
Someone throws Spider-Man into a wall. The wall is just another villain.
Right.
And the walls,
Got
the
you right
walls,
where I want you.
his true counterpart would be the Kool-Aid Man, right? You know that
I was like,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He just gets obliterated.
The
He just
Kool-Aid.
the Kool-Aid Man would just jump through this dude.
Oh yeah! Oh no!
Oh no!
And then I'll
The
be like,
wall. I'm
"Not
just
the
imagining
wall."
somebody in like a really poorly made like a high school theater department like wall with like he's got like brown paint on his face with the bricks and he just reaches out. He's never gonna suspect as he's crawling up me.
That would be pretty creepy though, to just like look around, you see just arms coming out of a wall. Actually, that's a horror villain right there. It doesn't sound like it would be. It sounds like it'd be stupid, but then it happens and you're like, actually.
Right, exactly. Never seen a goblin out in the wild.
Hey, if a goblin wasn't enough, they doubled down and said, "Here's a hobgoblin."
That's true.
More goblins, the merrier.
Just trying to think now. Now I can't stop with trying to think of these sad superheroes populating the the world of all these super people.
That's like that's one of the premises to like One Punch Man, the anime, right? Is that there's like a zillion heroes and they're all ranked, and some of them are really bad. Like the one that just he just rides a bike. He's the bike hero. That's it. That's his gimmick. He rides a bike. That's it.
There was one guy in the Watchmen TV show that the only thing you see him do is he's in like an all silver bodysuit and he's running and a girl's chasing after him and he covers himself in lube and slides into a sewer. Slides into a sewer. That's it. That's it. So he's like, was that Lube Man? Did we just see Lube Man there?
I'm Captain Slip and Slide.
Yeah, it's like, who the hell's this guy? I like him.
The producer's calling for us to get this back on track. Weston, favorite color and why?
Red. It's the best. Next.
I've
always loved red. I grew up loving red, surrounded with just red stuff, I guess. I don't know. I was never a blue person. I feel like the very typical, like everyone loves blue, or it's like second color, like green. No, I love red, so that's it.
I'm from the blue camp myself.
Yeah, I feel like blue is very common, and I get it. Blue can come in a lot of fun shades. I don't know. Red is just. I don't know if I'm a redhead. I don't know if I am a massive narcissist, so maybe that's it. I don't know.
I love that I'm on the opposing team of being green has been my favorite color all day.
Well, that was the second thing he said.
We got the holy trifecta here. If it's not blue, it's green. If it's not green, I guess it's red. Yeah. Very few people, favorite color, yellow. Very rare to have a yellow or orange.
I feel like blue's been my default answer my whole life. But to give it genuine consideration, I'd almost say purple. It's a lovely color, you know.
But purple's funny for me. I don't like purple that much.
This is my question.
Things, but by itself, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of purple.
But here's my question with this: is it just red though? Is it just the base red color that you like, or is it blood red that you like, or is it sunset red? You know what I'm saying? There's so many different shades.
That's a good question. I do like the brighter shades of red versus the darker, like your maroons and stuff. So the brighter shades, sunset, even going into like blood orange is really fun. But it's like on the orange spectrum, it's leaving red a little bit. I like the brighter stuff. Or yeah, I would probably say like the brighter stuff. Even I go so far as if you want to go the other way with maybe pinks and stuff. I'm not like super into pink, but I think pink also gives red a lot of gradient in some stuff. So you kind of get that kind of light and then you get that bright. So that's kind of where I sit with that. So the brighter stuff.
I vibe with that. What a pure conversation about colors. Yeah. I would say if I would say what
a blue and a green, what's everyone honestly think of pink? We get down with pink.
I was kind of talking about that.
Checks out. I like pink. I think a highlighter pink.
You better get the party started. That's what I can tell you.
I'm coming out.
I think a highlighter pink is cool in like summertime. In summer wear, it's got to be with other highlighted colors. But I think like in average, I would probably more so get down with like a bright pink, but like a pastel type of pink, more
like
so,
a hot pink.
Not hot pink. It's not like pastel. So more like, you think of like if you took pink and blended it more with white, kind of like the little cherry blossom there gets into.
That's Sakura.
More of a pastel type of pink. Yeah.
Kind of what we got going on over here in this graphic, right?
Yeah. Kind of like where it gets up to. Yeah.
Figured you were more of a maroon feller.
Rose gold. Yeah, see that's
rose gold. Yeah.
That's more the pink I was talking. Like I like it, but if it is the bright like highlighter color pink, I think it's got to be with like that hot yellow color or something too.
Let's ask the question. Favorite color. It's such a common question, such a common icebreaker question. What's a color that you just hate? You just like, if we could get rid of the color, what is it? color you got beef with?
That sort of weird kind of putrid pale green. Like, not like you know the kind, the one that's like just it's gritty vomit colored green. Like there's a lot of good greens, but that shade of green. It's almost like turning gray.
I feel you, but like how would you do like exorcist vomit from that point on? You know, you couldn't do that color of green, you know, like I
You just
love it.
replace
I
it with
love
chocolate like they did in the black
Exactly.
and white films.
There you go.
I would say my least favorite color, I would say to wear, if I was gonna wear like a t-shirt, my least favorite color to wear is red. Just straight up like like a brighter. I don't know. I feel like it makes me stick out. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like that.
See, I like that on a lot of other people. I think a lot of people can pull off red, but if you are super pale and have red hair, red just doesn't work. You're supposed to wear like blues and stuff.
Yeah, it's a that I've always just thought that. I thought it was a very hard color to pull off. But I don't know, man. I don't really have beefs with like any colors to tell you the truth. Like as far as like colors in general go, like I kind of dig them all.
No beef with the color. No, I want to start a color controversy.
I don't know if I have. I know I asked the question. I was genuinely curious if anyone out there is like, I've been campaigning to get rid of this color, you know.
I will die on this hill. Brown must go.
All right, gun to your head. If you had to pick MagicManMo brand colors, what would they be? Primary, color, secondary, and accent.
Primary is red. Secondary is. It's a good question. I guess like if I had a gun to my head, like right now, I'd just be like this. The like primary color red, secondary color this sort of like kind of black. So this is actually kind of like a really dark blue. So like if you want to go with kind of some contrasting colors there, a darker red, a darker blue, accent white. Gun to my head, I would just roll with that.
Dave, I'm not sure. Is that a slur? What are you having us read on air, Dave?
Freaking pinkies. Pink's not a bad color.
Is that a slur? Yeah, I check your autocorrect because that you know the difference a letter M makes can. Let's see here. Randy is still on the superheroes. He has not left this topic. He has still been talking about
Randy's
superheroes.
still on there. My favorite superhero aspect is that I love that no one ever bats an eye at is major supervillains actually have and are fighting for real cause, but instead of actually addressing the very problem the villain does, the hero just stops them because they're going about it in a bad way. Then the very real problem is never addressed. Yeah, no, I vibe with that. There's a few comics that have really dove into that whole aspect of it and shown that other side where the regular people were feeling that. I think that's why there are some people, like especially when you're looking at like the Joker. I feel like that's why there are some people that you'll see as part of like the Joker gang and whatnot, especially like the little rendition they just did of the Joker at the end. A lot of people saw that. So even if busted his teeth out, they'd still come break him out and free him. Be like, now we're riding and dying with this guy for whatever reason.
I think when it is brought up and talked about, it's often the case of do the ends justify the means? And for many, the means by which you take to get to an end doesn't matter. It's like, well, if we accomplish this thing, it doesn't matter how many people we have to murder or steal from or what catastrophic damage we have to cause. If the end is worthy enough, all means justify. But then there's often the hero camp is, well, no, while having this end result might seem great or sound great, you can't just murder, you can't just steal, you can't just blow things up, etc. I think that often becomes that conversation, ends and means.
Yeah, facts.
We're coming to the end of the show here. I think everybody's commenting so much today. Let's switch things up, and for our one time for the mind, somebody throw out a good question for us. One last question to close out the show with.
Hashtag one time for the mind.
Let's do it.
Hashtag one time for the mind. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the big ones. Watchmen was always one of my favorites. And that's one of the big ones at the end. You know, one of the heroes is like, oh, we're going to drop some squids out of the sky to get the Cold War to end. we're going to kill a lot of people, but you know what? It's going to get everybody to realize there's a bigger threat and they need to pull together, and it splits them all in half. You know, it's like, wait, no, we can't do that because we're just killing all those people. Like, that's fucked up.
Right.
And they win anyway, you know.
And then even more recently or whatever, since everyone's super into Marvel or whatever, I didn't watch a lot of the MCU stuff, but that was the whole premise behind Thanos wanting to snap half the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
To his mind, it's like the end goal is continuing for existence to exist or whatever because lack of resources, whatever it was. I didn't actually watch all the movies, but that was the whole premise. So to him, the ends justify the means. Everyone else is like, that will literally kill half of everybody. That's terrible.
Well, I feel like to this, point is there are those repercussions in the MCU now where you see people on Earth post snap who have shirts and mugs and all this stuff to say Thanos was right. And so there are those people who are like, fuck it.
Well, especially if you're the type of person, we all like to think we're invincible. If you're the type of person that's like, well, I would have survived the snap, so I don't care.
Right.
I didn't though, so I don't know. I participated on the Reddit snap when that came out, and I actually was living in the Soul Stones, so I would have perished. I would have been snapped.
Okay, well, it looks like Randy got the question in, so we'll go with Randy. Between content creation and a normal 9 to 5, how do you refresh the mind? Well, hell, I'll take that one. I tune in to Mondays for the Mind every Monday at 6 p.m. Personally, that's how I refresh my mind.
But what if it's not Monday? Then what do you do? Just old episodes?
Well, then, damn it, I watch reruns over it. You can find them at chaseandshep.com or the YouTube page, or even Spotify if you're feeling frisky. And
this time of
it's Monday.
This
Monday
time of the year, for me to refresh the mind, I really like getting outside, getting in nature, stepping away. Here at Chase and Shep, we've many of times have talked about not putting, we are our own bosses on this channel. We dictate our own schedules and what we're going to create, what we're going to make. So to not let that weight carry and hold us down and get us stressed and get us, into a bad spots within ourselves, basically once you do that, it's like you can kind of, we got a communication here where it's like, if I need to refresh the mind, if I need to take a step back, tolerate my man's over here and be like, yo, and he's like, that's what's up. We're good on that. But yeah, that's me. I like taking some time to myself to refresh the mind and not putting those, not worrying about those, I don't want the deadlines. That's a good deadlines. Yes. Not worrying about deadlines. I create my own.
I recently did a stream where we went through a bunch of user submitted memes on my Discord, and I went over them, and I was unaware that this happened, but there were a lot of memes submitted because there was a point in time pretty recently where I vanished from the internet. No one could get a hold of me, but my Discord was still on, so people could see that I was playing a game. And everyone was like live reacting to how long I'd been playing this game. I'd been playing Stellaris for over 1 day. They were counting up 2 hours, 6 hours online, 10 hours online, 24 hours online, day plus. That's how I completely refresh my mind. Tune out the world. The world's over. I become a goblin in front of my computer and just nothing else matters. That's it. It's terrifying. I don't think I ate that day. I just played one game for a day.
Hey man, as long as you feel refreshed at the end, everybody's got their own methods.
It's like you actually end up feeling terrible because you're like, wow, I wasted a whole day and I probably stink. But then you shower and then you're like, now I'm ready to hit the world.
Yeah, go fun. And well, Dave got in a pretty good question, so we'll
I feel like we can sneak that one in.
Time for the mind. If you could, and you probably would, and you sort of should, would you?
No.
Yes, I would.
Yes,
I would.
Never.
I would.
It's two yeses and a no.
I can't be made.
That's true. It really would depend on my day. If I'm feeling kind of like down for the anarchy, I might just say no. If I want some chaos, I might say no.
That's true.
But if I'm vibing, I'll probably say
yeah. I'd like to say I would probably say yes, but there might be a moment where I go, fuck it, just let it slide.
My head says no, but my body. My body says yes.
Body.
All right. Well, I
Been
don't.
a dope show.
Shep did his job this week, but I didn't do mine, so we don't have an outro video today. But next week we have Tyler Jacob Moore joining us for the third time on the show. You might have seen him in Shameless. You might have seen him in Upon a Time, and a bunch of other shit. He's currently on Ride on the Hallmark Channel because I know our viewership lines a lot with the Hallmark Channel. But he'll be here next Monday. Yeah. And the Monday after that, we got Ron. You've probably seen him popping around the comment section. We've got Ron Chever. Excuse me if I said your last name wrong, Ron. I apologize. And then what's our last Monday? Monday Music Showcase. That's right. And this is why we have videos pre-prepared before this. That was all off the top. So to close it out, this chaotic.
You got it. You got it, man.
That's exciting.
It's been a really dope show. Yes, great to see Weston on the show. Weston, it was great having you. We had a great lively chat tonight. And you said again, what was your website again? Let everybody know.
If you want to find just everything that I do, WestonHasty.com. That's Weston with an O, not an I. WestonHasty, WestonHasty.com. Primarily, I do gaming stuff. If you're into gaming, MagicManMo on YouTube.
MagicManMo on YouTube. Go subscribe, peeps. Go subscribe.
That'll do it. Weston is great to meet a legend from Mancats.
The legend from Mancats. That's right. That's what I truly meant to be known for.
And listen to the Hasty podcast.
Yeah. And
Profoundish.
Profoundish as well. Especially Profoundish. It's really good.
All righty. That'll do it. Weston, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody have a good night. Peace.
Goodbye.